Hello and namaste. This is Neeraj here in India. As you know, that the world over, that the markets are in really that bad shape, and what we are trying to do world over. I have been telling. I have been consistent in my negative view about the market. Is that the financial and economy things are not good all over the world, and even though market may go up because of whatever the perceptions, people take on that Fed is increasing and Fed is decreasing and Fed is not increasing to that extent, and RBI is not increasing interest rate to that extent, and RBI is increased interest. So all this daily, day to day. But overall, if you trend, if you'll see that it is negative, and I still continue to hold on to that view that one should not be in a hurry to invest into the market. Be on the sideline, be on the cash, and also the things which we are, as in India also, when people were talking that India is the market is booming, but I traveled there. I went to some of the biggest malls and all these popular joints in Mumbai. Mumbai is the commercial capital, and as you know, financial. But on that Sunday, and that too, on that main Sunday afternoon, and still I could see 50% of the people than it used to be before pandemic. That before COVID and before this crisis, basically. So the things are still not. You can say that come on the that way, economically it's still we are not out of the woods. Not only India, India is relatively doing much better compared to the other economics, but if you go and if you see, then there are issues of demand. People don't have money, or because of this inflation, too much high prices, people are refraining from buying things, because it's everything has become very expensive and inflation is very high. So this is what was my ground experience. I could see domestic flights when I traveled from different cities in India. Flights were that airports before, it used to be very much people. It was big queue even to get into the airport when the checking. Now it was kind of, I can say that, empty. It was not at all. It was very easy in domestic. I would not say about international. International, there was a huge queue when I came back to Moscow. So what I'm trying to say is that the things are not yet. People can talk about that nowadays, because of this online everything happening. So you don't find people in the shops or in the mall, but it is not even though it may have some kind of impact on the people, but food court and all these things always are popular joints, and that is where I saw that even less than 50% of what the people used to be. So any case, and coming back to Russia, as you know that there has been a lot of talk about Russia mobilizing people because of this prolonging of this conflict and war with Ukraine, and definitely with the casualties and everything, such a long 6 months conflict war, it is definitely takes a toll on the people and resources and everything. So that is where they are trying to mobilize through that mobilization program, so that they need people in the army, too, because as the war continues. So there used to be a lot of this chaos and panic before, a few days before, when it was announced. But I think because a lot of people were flying out of Russia, and that is true. You can see that when I was coming back to, hardly there were, but the flights were full coming back to Russia also, full of Indian students. So if there is a war or panic, it's not. So at least we don't feel, and so many Indian students are coming to Russia to study. So that speaks volumes about what is the situation here. Situation is quite normal. Only thing is that because it is mobilization is for the Russian citizens, Russian people. So that's why a lot of panic was there, and people were flying away because they didn't want to get into this, this fight or war. And it's understandable. There is a panic situation because there was no criteria about what was happening, how people are going to be, picked up or selected for the mobilization. But I think now, more or less, it is kind of settled that it is mostly they will pick up the young people with the some kind of a military background, or the experience from the army, or that kind of a related. And that is where the things have little bit calmed down, but still, yeah, there is a lot of panic here for the local population. Apart from that, let's talk about what is the market. As I told you, that I have been my consistent view regarding that euro also was that euro will go below par to US against USD, and you will see very soon 0.85. So it's already 0.96 euro has touched 0.96 against USD, and very soon it will. I will put the link also of that video where I had predicted that euro will be euro can come down to 0.85. So that is first step. So all my predictions are all my analysis is coming true about this market, about this generally this the metals and the energy. Energy is definitely, as you know, I had told that it will not come below $95 crude oil, but because of all this hike in interest rates by USD, much more hike than what was the market was expecting, and continuing harsh tone regarding that that there will be many more hikes if required, if the inflation persists. So that is where it is taking a toll on all the commodities and the prices of crude. And also it sounds recessionary about that the situation in the world over is recessionary, is more and more towards the recession. We are getting hurtled. So that is what also is pushing the crude oil prices down. But as you know, on the 5th of October, means day after tomorrow, on Wednesday, this OPEC Plus meeting is taking place, and there are all the chances that the way they have coordinated in last 1 year through the pandemic, this OPEC Plus, so they will continue to do that, and I don't think so that they will be announcing any that production increase which they had announced. Maybe you may find that production increase they may cancel, so that there may not be any production increase. And in fact, if the need be, they may even go for the the production cuts to stabilize the situation. And that is where you will see that support comes back to $95 for Brent crude per barrel. Another prediction coming back to is that I believe that nickel is ripe for it's in a consolidated phase, and at 20,000, $21,000 per ton, or the 20,500. It is kind of a bottoming out. Looking at the future of the electric vehicle batteries and all these things, demand, it will very soon, we'll start. This is the best. I believe that this is a consolidated phase, and this is the time you can start investing into this nickel. So nickel stocks, if there is a nickel company or commodity as such. So as you can see this is bottoming out at $21,000 per barrel. So 20,500 is what I believe, that is but one cannot exactly predict that. So this is the time one can start. Another I wanted to talk about was the gold. Is that I believe that gold is in a temporarily downward phase, temporarily. Okay, so if you are into this gold, I believe that there is a 4 to 5% of the downside from the current level. I see that, depending on the situation, how it is. But I believe that it is, gold is in for 15. This is where 1580, so around $1,590 per ounce. It can come down to $1,580 for $1,590 per ounce. So currently it is at around 1,660. So there is around 4 to 5% of the downside, temporary downside, because again, if as OPEC will announce some kind of a production cuts or production increase also they will cancel, then definitely that will be again add to the increase in the crude prices and add to the inflationary prices. And as the US Fed has told that they will continue to be very harsh about tackling inflation, it means that they will continue to increase the interest rates. So the downside for the temporarily this gold seems to be on there should be a decline in the gold, and that will be the time when one can start looking into this. But as of now, for me, I believe that nickel seems to be the most bottomed out commodity and ripe for the investment. Nickel stocks or nickel company stock, whatever, if it's available in your kind of region, if some company is there, nickel producer or nickel mining company, nickel, palladium, copper, so one can look into this. So this is what I just wanted to share, my little thoughts of all this last 3 weeks, which I couldn't come out with. That one can start looking a bit into the market, but don't be in a hurry, because things are going to even be more bad as far as the financials or the economic is concerned world over. And it's not only going to be limited to, because we are living in a globalized world, so even you want to be isolated, you can't be isolated, right, your economy. So that is what I just wanted to share my thoughts with you, and we'll come out with some new idea, new concept, new video next week, or as and when it comes. Till that time, love you all, and ciao from Neeraj from Moscow. See you next week.